The first Friday of fall, the final Friday of September.
Happy fall, y'all, because it's going to be this way for the next several days.
As the weather cools down, football season heats up.
You're really preparing your team for region play because that's when it counts.
And it just when you have a crowd and it's on TV, there's just a little extra buzz.
If you want to play in December, Howard, touchdown! You have to win in September and October.
44 yards, touchdown.
We really want to hope to keep the success going. It's been incredible. There's been a great response to it, and our people deserve it.
As our non-region record, none of that helps us towards the playoffs or not. So region play is a reset. It's time to get refocused and get ready to go.
Welcome to Game Night Live. WJBF Sports presents local high school football live in your living room each Friday night. Game Night Live is powered by McDonald's. I'm loving it. And now your hosts, John Hart and Ashley Brown.
Indeed, region play begins tonight. The season starts over for these two teams, Richmond Academy and Harlem. It does not matter what you did before tonight. The top 4 teams in each region in the state of Georgia make it to the postseason. Hello again, everybody. John Hart, joined once again by Ashley Brown. And AB, these two teams could use a reset. You have a Richmond Academy team that comes in at 1-3, the 1 win by forfeit, 3 losses in a very tough non-region schedule, and maybe more importantly, lost their best player to transfer.
Yeah.
And then you have a Harlem team 2-2, but coming off a heartbreaking loss on Game Night Live a week ago tonight.
Yeah, they played a great game against Lincoln County, just came up short. It's a good Harlem ball club, though, and tonight, we'll see if they're all of a sudden they're pass happy. They've got one of the better passers in the area in Ryan Newman. Historically, they're a running team. Same for Richmond. They're historically a running team. They probably are going to throw it a little more tonight. We should have an entertaining game with 2 even ball clubs, though.
And that brings us to our forward keys to the game. Nathan Edwards, also statistician, by the way.
Yeah, taking a look at the forward keys to the game, protect the football. If you're the visitors from Harlem, turnovers hurt you last week, can't do it this week. Don't beat themselves on those turnovers. And then also establish the run. They were running the ball great the first 3 weeks of the season. Last week, they went through the air 33 times. I think they need to run the football tonight in order to get the W. And then for Richmond Academy, tonight the home team trying to get their season on track, they've got to pressure Ryan Newman when Harlem does throw the ball. He was able to sit back and throw it last week and completed 23 passes. And also, they need a big game from Maurice Freeman. With Curry gone, John Tavius Curry transferring, Maurice Freeman's kind of the game breaker for them, along with Kellen McDuffie, and they need one of those 2 guys to step it up.
And we'll dive more into the John Tavius Curry situation as we go along. But first, down to the field and the coin toss.
Y'all promise tonight, I will not throw any touchdown passes. Y'all can't throw no flags.
Yes, sir.
Fair enough? All right, y'all the home team, y'all the visitors, that y'all call it.
Yes, sir.
Got the heads and the tails.
Yes, sir.
What is your call?
Tails.
Tails. Dig through that, dig through that. It is a heads. It is a head.
We'd like to defer.
Defer. Defer. Y'all want the rock, right?
Yes, sir.
Which way y'all gonna kick it?
We're going to kick it this way.
All right, y'all put y'all backs that way, y'all put y'all backs this way.
Yes, sir.
Right here gonna be receiving. Right here gonna be kicking. All right, guys, shake hands, go get your teams. Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Dominic Eubanks, our referee tonight. So Richmond Academy wins the toss, defers to the second half, and Harlem will receive the opening kickoff. The road to the postseason begins tonight on Game Night Live. Here come the Harlem Bulldogs. The 17th all-time meeting between these two schools. Richmond Academy leads the all-time series 10-6. In fact, Harlem has not beaten Richmond Academy. And again, they don't play every single season, only when they're in the same region. Harlem hasn't won in this series since 2005. And in the last 5 meetings, Richmond Academy has outscored Harlem 170-51. The Bulldogs trying to turn that around tonight.
Well, if they turn it around, I think it's going to be obviously Ryan Newman's throwing the ball pretty well, one of the leading passers in the CSRA this year. But they've got a two-headed monster at running back that so far in 4 games has almost combined for 1,000 yards in Jacorius Boyd, the sophomore, and the senior Jason Williams. And I think, they're going to need that running game tonight if they're going to beat Richmond Academy.
Seems like Harlem always has a 1,000-yard rusher. You got to go back to 2015 for the last time the Bulldogs did not have a rusher go for 1,000 yards, and the Dogs will start 1st and 10 at the 44-yard line. A crisp fall evening, AB. The last Friday in September, 71 degrees at kickoff.
Oh, if it would stay this way year-round. So perfect. That was John Howard, by the way, who's coming off his career game last week against Lincoln County. 7 catches for 158 yards and 2 touchdowns for John. There he is, number 16.
So we will see now how this Harlem team can respond to that disappointing loss on Game Night Live against Lincoln County last week. And right off the bat, the Bulldogs go to the ground, and it's Corey Boyd. And he had a pretty big game himself last week, AB.
Yeah, Boyd is just behind Williams for the leading, being the leading rusher on this team, just a hair under 500 yards coming in, and he's only a 10th grader. This kid's got a really nice future here. He's the next star back after Williams goes. Williams, of course, just a junior. But I think Boyd's going to have a big 3 seasons this year and the next 2.
Pick up a 4 on 1st down, and the Harlem will do this every now and then. Direct snap it to the running back, and it's Boyd again. He'll have the 1st down and then some. Boyd, big gainer into Richmond Academy territory.
Yeah, Roger Jones finally made the tackle. He had a big game the last time we were here against Augusta Christian, but you don't want him making the tackle there on the field, as it was a big gainer for Boyd. And there you see the Harlem offense. Ryan Newman coming off a 274-yard effort against Lincoln County. He likes to go to Howard. He likes to go to Sterner. Those are his 2 favorite targets for sure.
1st and 10 at the Musketeer 34-yard line. Harlem coached by Mark Boyder, 4 and 10 in his 2nd season in Harlem. And we talked about it a little bit last week. He has Harlem red and black coursing through his veins. A graduate of Harlem back in 2006 as Boyd twists back to the original line of scrimmage. 10 years as an assistant with the Bulldogs before he finally got the head coaching gig.
Yeah, he was a great lineman here, as you mentioned. Got Harlem, Harlem through and through. And he would love to take this program to some prominence. They had some good years, 7-win seasons under Todd Booker, but to really establish, have that big year like Richmond did last year when they had a 10-win season.
And Booker took this Harlem program to the playoffs 3 straight seasons before moving up into the assistant principal role at the high school. And this is Jason Williams, the aforementioned Jason Williams. And if you were scoring along at home last week, he was wearing number 20, wearing number 33 this week, and he's up to the 27-yard line. Gain of 9. I'll call it more close to gain to 7. So 3rd and 3.
Williams showed some flashes last year, but I don't think anybody envisioned him having 500 yards in their first 3 games this year.
It's Williams again, trying to pick his way through traffic. And it'll be just short. And a very early Ken Nugent 1 call. That's all moment for Mark Boyder. The 4th and short. And if last week is any guide, he likes to leave the offense on the field in these short 4th down situations inside the opponent's 30-yard line. Mark Boyder trying to change the football culture at Harlem, as we mentioned last week. This is a team that only has 1 region title. It's go all back to 1974. As the direct snap goes to Boyd, and he is tripped up, and it will be very close. We may have to measure this. And our statistician, Nathan Edwards, says he is short, and short he is. Grady Nogle with a shoestring tackle to save what would have been a 1st down for Boyd, and a big stand for this Musketeer defense, taking over on downs, 1st and 10 at the 25-yard line.
Yeah, big stop there because it looked like Harlem's just going to march right down the field. So nice stand there, bend but don't break defense.
1st and 10 at the 25 for the Musketeers.
So Jack Murphy, the Richmond Academy quarterback, keeper on first down. He'll pick up, I'll give him 3 or 4. Up to the 29-yard line.
Gain of 4, second and
We apologize. We're having some technical problems with AB's microphone. He'll rejoin the proceedings in a moment. In the meantime, it's 2nd and 6 for the Musketeers. We expect them to throw the ball a lot tonight, and Murphy swings it out to the tight end. That is Drew Dunnigan. And Drew is a name we did not call the last time we were here. We can only hope to have as good a game as we had 3 or 4 weeks ago here when we were at ARC Stadium, when Richmond Academy and Augusta Christian played to the final second, and Augusta Christian came away with one of their biggest wins in program history. 3rd and 5. Murphy fires, complete, near side, McDuffie. He'll be close. And again, it will depend on the spot. I think he's a little bit short, going to bring up 4th, and I stand corrected. They're saying first down.
Well,
So
Rippey
first down by
time,
an inch.
Rippey made the tackle, but he let the runner, roll over him, and it gave him extra yardage he needed for that first down.
Well, and here is where I guess we address the 800-pound elephant in the room, and that is the fact that Richmond Academy is without what looked to be maybe their best player on the team to start the season, one of the best players in our area in John Tavius Curry, and some great reporting in the Augusta Chronicle by our friend Wynn Wilcox this week about the timeline and the X's and O's of everything that happened and why Curry is now back at Thompson after starting the season with the Musketeers. But the bottom line is the Musketeers have to find some way to not replace his production, but at least sort of fill the gaps a little bit.
There's no doubt you can't replace him. He's one of the most electric players in the area. Last week in his first game with Thompson, he touched the ball 4 times. He averaged 52.5 yards a touch. So you just don't replace that.
Oh, in and out of the hands. What a great defensive play.
That was John Howard.
John Howard had such a great game on offense last week. He already has 2 interceptions this season and almost had a 3rd.
Well, in basketball defensively, he is a steal a minute almost, and that time he was using that old basketball defense, going to steal that, pass into the big guy, and made a great play on the ball. But yeah, you're right. I mean, you just don't replace Curry, and I mentioned what he did last week, and he really electrified Richmond towards the end of last year. But, Lyle Burns is next man up, and you can't cry over that. You got to move on, and that's what they've done.
Murphy on the move. It's first down. Reed Barfield on the receiving end, up to the 48-yard line.
That's why it's so important tonight for Kellen McDuffie, Maurice Freeman, Jack Murphy, the guys that were already their playmakers. They got to play that much better, without Curry in there. The thing you had with Curry is on any given play, he can take it to the house, and that's a lot of teams just don't have that.
So new set of downs for the Musketeers. You mentioned Lyle Burns. What a job he has done here. 27-21 in his 5th season here. 1-3 this season. And the one win came by forfeit against Hancock Central in the season opener, as Murphy is pushed back.
Well, he ran into one guy on the Harlem defense you don't want to run into right there, 66. That's Vandre Thomas. And, man, what a player he is, the senior. You don't see defensive linemen rack up tackles like he does. The first game of the season this year, he had 12 tackles and 2 tackles for loss. And in that position, you just don't see, sacks, yes, a few tackles, yes, but not double figures usually from that defensive line spot.
But to finish the thought on the Richmond Academy season, and as the carry goes to Bryce Ivy, and he is hit hard by Holden Rippey. Rippey had a big game on defense last week for the Dogs, but Ivy is you talk about next man up, he is the running back now, the feature back for this Musketeer team.
Yeah, big shoes to fill, but, you can't try to be Curry. You got to be Ivy. Run the offense, run behind your blockers. This is, again, a Richmond team that was 10-2 last year. Did they graduate some good players? Yeah. But they've got a lot back on offense. including that guy, Jack Murphy, the quarterback.
Need 5 yards on third down, and in and out of the arms of Barfield. Would have been a first down. Instead, the Musketeers will have a decision to make, and it looks like Lyle Burns has already made it.
Nathan pointing out that was a great throw on the run. It was. He was throwing against his body, put some zip on it, and right there to Barfield. You got to hold on to that one. So Richmond looks like they're going to punt it away here.
Okay, now I'll finish the thought on the Musketeers. They won their only game by forfeit, and then they struggled. They played a very tough non-region schedule.
They did.
And stand at 1-3.
Including Augusta Christian. That team no slouch. I mean, that's a good football team. Last week, Zach Blackwell officially 40 carries, 340 yards.
He's not bad. That is not bad. False start on the offense, and we can hear Lyle Burns from up here, and let's just say not pleased with the false start.
He's old school, man. I love Coach Burns, and got a chance to talk with him, during the week, and he's just
he's a straight shooter.
He is. He's a straight shooter, and like I said, old school. He's got that old school approach.
Barfield boots it away. Jackson Rockefeller will let it roll dead at the 26. Bulldogs take over, still scoreless. 4:08 to play in quarter number 1. Just an absolutely perfect night for football here on Walton Way, as the Bulldogs begin their second possession from their own 22-yard line. Brian Newman. And there's a flag, 2 flags now in the defensive backfield.
Yep. When the receiver's got to adjust his jersey after the play and he wasn't tackled, something was going on. The jersey of John Howard being held, and that probably saved a big gainer.
On the defense, 15-yard penalty, first down.
And again, Dominic Eubanks, our referee tonight. So the pass interference will give Harlem the ball all the way up the 42-yard line. That's a 20-yard penalty. Newman with a big season so far, 650 yards passing and 5 touchdowns. 274 of those yards came last week as you look at the rest of the Harlem offense.
Yeah, he started 13 for 13 last week. Didn't have his first incomplete pass until the 3rd quarter.
And Jacorius Boyd pushes ahead for 4.
Yeah, this Harlem team is very close to being 4-0. They lost a heartbreaker to Evans. In that game, they had a touchdown that looked like a touchdown. Williams running in for the touchdown, and the ball was knocked out literally as he was crossing the goal line, and it went out of the end zone, and Evans got the ball and won 22-20. And then, of course, last week, that heartbreaker to Lincoln County.
Well, you mentioned as the carry goes to Boyd, and he is knocked down in the backfield. Great play by Travis Thompson, at 29 tackles and a couple of picks a year ago, and picking up right where he left off.
Well, he did a great job here. Watch as he fights off the block. Actually, he was double teamed and fought it off and made a heck of a play. This is the side of the ball where ARC lost a lot to graduation. Leaders in that secondary like Chris Murray. And they lost guys up front. I mean, they on every level, they lost players to graduation, and they're not as dominant defensively as they were a year ago for sure.
Newman swings it out to Howard. John Howard, just like last week. First down, a fairway forward first down into ARC territory, inside the 40 and out of bounds at the 39-yard line.
All this kid needed to do was grow a little bit. He's always been real thin. He's always been small. But, man, you can see now he's put a little weight on. He's been working hard. This is a really talented athlete. He's also a very good basketball player. It's good to see him having some success out here at this level.
24 yards on the pickup by John Howard, who had a couple of touchdown catches last year. Now Boyd keeps his feet, and he's gone for 6, 39 yards. Touchdown Harlem.
Heck of a run, and that's the way to keep your legs moving. And by the way, for a 10th grader, he's got some pretty big thighs. When I saw him play when he was about 11 or 12, that was what stood out to me. I was like, he's got high school size thighs already. And there you see they had him, and he got a little push from one of his players, one of his teammates. That was a great run.
Reminiscent of the run by Lincoln County on Game Night Live a week ago.
Yeah. comes Sterner to try and add on the extra point.
And somebody got a piece of it, and that could be big, so keep an eye on that. The lead stays 6-0 with 2:17 to play in the first.
Well, folks, you can get a free large fry when you download the McDonald's app today and start earning points on every order. Points you can redeem for free McDonald's with new My McDonald's rewards. Only in the app. McDonald's. I'm loving it.
Harlem marched 78 yards in 5 plays. Took a minute 51 off the clock.
Well, Howard's putting his stamp on the game. He made the great defensive play that saved a touchdown. He had the great, he had a nice return to start the game. He had a nice, he drew the pass interference call. Then he had a nice screen for a long run. So, the touchdown went to Boyd, and Boyd's had a good game so far, but Howard has been big as well.
This is a Harlem team, you mentioned, trying to replace 2 1,000-yard rushers from a year ago. They're averaging 240 yards on the ground per game this season, and on pace to get there again tonight. But here comes Kellen McDuffie, giving ARC great field position into Harlem territory.
Yeah, he's the one player that maybe has close to that game-breaking ability like Curry. And we saw him, last year on Game Night Live. He caught a touchdown pass on the first series for Richmond Academy in a big game late in the year. And there you see that speed he's got.
Well, if Harlem needs any inspiration looking for its first region title since 1974, they can just look across the field. Richmond Academy last year won its first region title since 1976. 43 yards on that return from McDuffie sets the Musketeers up at the 41-yard line, and they're keeping Murphy on the move tonight. Second down.
And again, rolling against his body.
And with that, time to bring in the third member of our broadcast crew. Welcome back, Matt Lane, who had the well-deserved week off last week, and another Augusta Auto Auction sideline report. Hey, Matt.
Thank you, John. That's right. We're here on the sideline as ARC tries to get in that end zone after missing a few tackles and letting Harlem jump in the end zone there. They looked good on their first offensive possession. ARC did. Let's see if they can keep some of that momentum and get some of those big plays to hit on this drive. Back to you, John.
Matt, thanks. Musketeers continue to try to throw it. That was intended for Maurice Freeman, and you mentioned one of your keys to the game. They need a big game from him.
Well, yeah, he's been a starter since he was a freshman. Split time at quarterback, can play running back, can play receiver, and yeah, they need him to break some runs tonight for sure to replace what they're losing in Curry. And Richmond loses Curry, and that's tough. It's the middle of the year. Harlem, right before the season started, lost Jeremiah. You mentioned they lost 2,000-yard rushers.
Mm-hmm.
Well, one of them graduated. That's going to happen. But they were expecting to have Jeremiah Ellis. You throw him with this offense, and this is an even better Harlem team.
And there is Freeman spinning for about 4. Going to bring him a 4th down situation and another decision time for Lyle Burns.
Yeah, Tony Hart made the tackle. If you want to look at guys that kind of pass the eye test, that's one of them right there. Tony Hart, number 5.
And Lyle Burns going to keep the offense on the field here from the 44-yard line. Line to make is the 32. And it is complete. McDuffie, and it's going to be good for a first down, a fairway forward first down. He needed 6, he got 8.
Well, if you're a defender in that spot, you can't play that loose. I mean, you know where they're going. You know where the first down marker is. And they just played off of him too much. They were, inside the 30 all the way at the 28, 29-yard line. And all they needed was to get to the 32. There was no contact until the 30. So you gotta tighten up in that situation if you're the defender.
Lyle Burns rolls the dice and gets a fresh set of downs from the 30-yard line of Harlem. McDuffie. Nowhere to go. He is dragged down by Matthew Williams. Big number 74.
That was well defended by Harlem, because if Williams didn't get him, there was somebody else right there as well. I think that was number 18, Jordan Bowers.
No gain. We'll see if the Musketeers can get one more snap off here before the end of the quarter. And they will get the extra play. And Murphy, under pressure, fires, complete. Fairway forward, first down to the 11-yard line. It's Reed Barfield. Great grab in traffic. So a great end to the first quarter for Richmond Academy. Not only a fairway forward first down, but also into the Augusta Disposal and Recycling red zone. And the Musketeers will have it 1st and 10 when the second quarter begins, trailing 6-0 on Game Night Live. Good looking drive for Richmond Academy here. This is the 7th play. And they're 1st and 10 from the Harlem 13-yard line. Murphy to throw again. And it's picked off. Great defensive play by Dyson Maddox. Read the route perfectly. 1st and 10, Harlem.
Not bad. Maddox stepping in and making a big play there, the 10th grader. Yeah, Murphy just tried to force this one in there. He's had a good game so far, but just tried to force that, and the defender stepped right in.
So the first two huge plays in this game both go the way of the Harlem Bulldogs. A 39-yard touchdown run by Boyd, and now the pick by Maddox.
Newman back in there to try and engineer another scoring drive here.
Dogs will start from their 10. And Williams is dragged down, and there's a flag down.
All right, let's check in on our QBs by the quarter, brought to you by Culpeper, Ace Hardware, and Evans. For Harlem, Ryan Newman, 1 of 1 for 24 yards. That pass, a screen pass going to John Howard. For Richmond Academy, Jack Murphy, 6 of 10, 45 yards passing. He's ran the ball 3 times for 5 yards. And that's your QBs by the quarter, brought to you by Culpeper, Ace, and Evans.
And a face mask on the Bulldogs on first down.
Yeah, you don't see that on the offense too much.
Not very often. Has a good look at Lyle Burns. He's a defensive coordinator at Elbert County before coming here to Richmond Academy. Also an assistant at Westside and Grovetown before that, so no stranger to the area. It is Musketeers trailing 6-0, but playing good defense here.
Yeah, good job that time stringing it out. A couple of players, Maurice Freeman in there. Also,
Jock Albright.
Yeah, Jock Albright in on the play too, number 9.
So 2nd and 11.
Ryan Newman's on a pace for about 1,700 yards passing. It's been a long time since a Harlem quarterback has thrown for that much.
To throw again. Ooh, dangerous pass behind the receiver. 3rd down.
Well, and if he had hit the receiver in stride, there was plenty of room to run, but he throws it well behind him. Well, this is a dangerous spot here, 3rd and 11. Obviously, you want to get a first down, but you don't want to make a crazy mistake in this part of the field either.
And you talk about not being used to Harlem throwing the ball this much. Last week, of course, they kind of caught us in Lincoln County by surprise a little bit. Both of these running backs for Harlem averaging over 100 yards a game, both in the top 10 in the state of Georgia, or top 20, I should say. And Newman to throw again, and it's complete again. It's Rockefeller, who had such a big game last week on Game Night Live. 107 yards receiving coming into this one, and big gain for the Bulldogs up to the 17-yard line. So it'll bring up 4th and about a yard, and you would imagine he'd have to kick it away here.
Yeah, he tried to break that tackle and get the first down, but a good job by the defender. And now, the one good thing from Harlem, if you do have to punt from this spot of the field, they have the best punter in the area probably in Sterner.
Yeah, Sterner averaging 44 yards per kick. He's kicked one 63 yards. There's number 12 backing up. We'll tell you more about him at halftime when we reward our Augusta Sports Council Ray Guy Award punters of the game. And a pretty good kick here. But ARC going to have good field position either way at the 44-yard line.
Yeah, got a lot of air under it, but unfortunately for him, it took a Richmond bounce.
9:45 to go. The Musketeers will get it back. So really nothing hurt with that interception. Good job by the Musketeer defense to get the ball back.
Yeah, they made a stand there and flipped the field.
So we'll see if Lyle Burns sticks with this air raid assault. And instead it's Ivy. Good hard run by Ivy. And close to a first down up to the 33-yard line. Will be about a yard short.
Made a quick decision to bounce it to the outside, and it was a smart one. Last year, they had a 1-2 punch at running back. They had a 1,000-yard rusher, Rashad Williams, who got overshadowed at the end of the year by Curry. But that 1-2 punch was something special for Richmond. It led them to that 10-win season with some wins over big-time opponents, too.
And unfortunately, the Musketeers have already eclipsed their loss total from a year ago, and they only lost 2. Officials went ahead and said that was a first down for Ivy, so 10-yard gain and flag down on first down. And might be another one coming. We've got some extracurricular activity.
I think that penalty is going to be on Beal.
Dominic Eubanks with the call.
On the offense. 10-yard penalty. Replay the down.
So a hold will back up the Musketeers.
So my apologies to Beal. They did not call a late hit or hitting out of bounds. It was a call on Richmond. Beal's a junior. The grandson of Charlie Beal, who ran the Columbia County Recreation Department for well over 30 years.
Nice throw and catch from Murphy to McDuffie. It's coming back. There are 2 flags back near the original line.
What number, 73?
Chip played
73 downfield, 73.
Evans back in the day.
Musketeers had an illegal man or ineligible man downfield. So the Musketeers can't quit shooting themselves in their own foot.
Well, the Richmond fans feel like somebody else is shooting them in the foot. They're not happy with the officials right now.
So 1st and 25 now from the 48. Murphy, all kinds of time. Into traffic, incomplete.
Well, he threw it up and let his guy make a play, and he had it. He made a play on the ball, just couldn't catch it.
And another flag, hold the phone.
It was Freeman who dropped it.
Holding Rippey back there with him.
Well, it would have been a great catch, but, I mean, he was the one that got both hands on the ball.
And a roughing
first down,
passer
first
call
down, first down.
Against Harlem.
Well, that is a really big penalty because, again, it was 1st and 25. It would have been 2nd and 25. Instead, it's automatic first down. That's one way to pick up a 2nd and 25.
So 1st and 10 at the 32 of Harlem after all of that. You get a look at the Musketeer band.
I need to bring that guy home and put him in the living room with my kids.
He says hush, say hush. Yeah.
See how they got quiet?
I like that.
On the offense.
Oh, my goodness.
5-yard penalty. Replay the down.
There is a flag frenzy here all of a sudden. Mr. Eubanks is getting his money's worth tonight.
I love before the game, he always tells them, my job is to call the game. I'll do that. I won't call any plays. You don't call
You don't throw. I won't throw. What does he say?
I won't throw any.
I won't throw any touchdown passes. I forget what it is, but it's good. We love having him as our referee. Short gain, Second about 12.
It's kind of a weird feel in the game tonight.
No, it doesn't seem like there's much of a rhythm to it.
Both teams kind of playing, I don't know, a little lackadaisical. And you know, at this point in the season, you would think that some of the penalties would be cleaned up.
It's Ivy. Ivy breaks free into the second level. And close, and he will have a fairway forward first down to the 25-yard line. Nice run by Ivy.
Well, he made a great fake there on the middle linebacker. Not sure if that was the backer or the safety, but he made a great fake to get beyond that line.
So Ivy gives the Musketeers some life. Things had kind of lulled to sleep here a little bit with all of the penalties. And now Murphy with trips out to the top of the screen. Under pressure, makes one man miss, running for his life, flag down, throws it away.
Well, one thing Murphy, you don't realize, Murphy's a really good athlete. He's a good, good baseball player. He's been a good athlete growing up. And there he was able to use just that
on the
innate
offense.
Ability to
10-yard penalty.
Rusher.
We paid it down.
Holding on the Musketeers.
This is a series that I think these guys might see again when Lyle's going over the film with them.
Have a nice chat. So the backs miss the Musketeers all the way up to the 34-yard line, where it will be first. And let me do my math here. About 22.
6 penalties for 54 yards.
Goodness
on the
gracious.
Musketeers.
Ivy hurdles a man across the 30 and gets some of it back. You're right, the natives are restless. I just heard a Richmond Academy fan say, what, no flag?
Oh, yeah, they were hot on a couple of those calls. You figure most of the older crowd in Augusta went to Richmond Academy. I mean, it was the school. People went from all over. I mean, it was basically Richmond and Valdosta every year, the teams to watch for the state title. And
2nd and 18, and Davion Roberts back there to bat it away for Harlem. He has an interception this season and almost had another.
And by saying that, I just mean there's a lot of pride in the area for Richmond Academy. Even if they don't follow them closely, when Richmond's doing well, you hear them come out of the woodworks. And
we saw it last year.
Yeah.
This place, that Burke County game and the Thompson game here last year, rocked. And when this place is full, it can get noisy.
Lyle Burns would love to have it that way every week. I mean, there's such a big thing when you've got a home field advantage like that with a big home crowd. It's intimidating for other teams coming in.
ARC takes a timeout. And we'll take it with them, with Harlem leading 6-0, 7 minutes to play in the first half. Richmond Academy facing a 3rd and 15 from the Harlem 28-yard line as we come out of the Richmond Academy timeout. Don't forget, coming up at the half, we have the Eichels Law Firm halftime show. A couple of special guests for you this week, including the principal here at Richmond Academy. We'll have a representative from our partners at McDonald's. We'll hear from the marching bands and meet our Augusta Sports Council Ray Guy Award punters of the game, all coming up on the Eichels Law Firm halftime show. But we've got 7 minutes to go here in the first half. Big third down for the Musketeers. McDuffie, and what a play. What a tackle by John Howard. It amazes me how often we mention his name when Harlem is on Game Night Live.
The last 2 games, he's been outstanding. Last week we mentioned 7 catches, 158 yards in the game against Lincoln County. He had a nice kickoff return. Tonight he's been doing it on both sides of the ball. If he doesn't make the tackle there, that is a big gainer.
So officially no gain, 4th and 18. And Lyle Burn's going to go for it. Why not? Murphy in and out of trouble, running for his life, for the end zone, batted away. It's Roberts again.
Good series for him as well. Murphy again does a good job to elude the rush. You got a blitzing linebacker in there and gets away from him. So tough to throw though against your body. You know, if he's running the other way, you know, maybe he gets a little more on that and gives the receiver a better chance, but that's a tough throw.
That was an emphatic swat into the front row of the crowd. That was Dikembe Mutombo.
There you go, yeah.
Yeah, just needed Roberts to throw up the finger. Not well, the Dikembe finger.
Thank you for clarifying.
You're welcome. The Bulldogs start from their own 32-yard line. And it is Williams on first down, and he is pushed back hard. Alonzo Jones, big number 70 in there. As Boyd, not Williams.
Yeah, 132 and one wearing 33, similar size.
Can we get one of them like a 5 or something?
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. Last week at Harlem, with those uniforms they wore, I had a devil of a time trying to tell the difference in their numbers. And of course, he was wearing number 20 last week. No gain on the play. 2nd and 10. Newman buying time. Batted away, I believe.
Yeah, got tipped.
Jock Albright got a finger in there. Speaking of fingers.
Well, I don't know that we expected necessarily a
old defensive
battle like
slugfest.
this, yeah. That's what we've gotten so far.
This stadium has been here since 1930.
You know, both teams
This
have been able to.
This is how they did it back then.
Both teams have moved the ball. Harlem, you know, Richmond has stiffened up and stopped them, and Richmond, the penalties really hurt them.
Delay draw.
What a run.
And nice spin move. Didn't get much from it, but Boyd.
He didn't, but he made 2 or 3 guys miss.
As Matt said down on the field, 2 or 3 tackles and got it up to about the 30-yard line. So a gain of 3, but not nearly enough, and Bulldogs will kick it away.
Yeah, remember that name, though, Jacorius Corey Boyd. He's going to be a good one.
Scory Boyd? That could be his nickname. So another look at Sterner. Could really kick it. Freeman standing on his own 30. Will catch it on his 35. And not much further.
Yeah, excellent
Nice
job.
play by Brock Logan to wrap him up. Well, we mentioned this stadium has been here since 1930. This is Frank Inman Field at ARC Stadium. If you're not familiar with Frank Inman, he was the head coach here at Richmond Academy from 1956 to 1961. In that time, 4 region titles, 1 state title. Then he went on to become an assistant at the University of Georgia from 1962 to 1979. And you Georgia Southern fans know him very well. Worked on the radio broadcast for the Eagles until 2005. Passed away back in 2008. Frank Inman, the namesake of Frank Inman Field here at ARC Stadium.
Yeah, during his tenure in Athens and his tenure in Richmond, a lot of kids from here went on to play for the Dogs.
So the Musketeers start from the 39-yard line.
Vandre Thomas again with the stop. He's a kid that I think will get a chance to play somewhere. I mean, he's got a good body, good motor. I just remember I didn't even know who, had never heard his name. We did a game his sophomore year in Hepzibah, and he just dominated that game. And last year, because he was one of the lone guys on the defense really for Harlem, he got a lot of double teams. And this year, you got to respect him a little more because there's some other players like Hart and Wilson and company that can hurt you.
Hart's one of my favorites. In and out of the hands of McDuffie, brings up 3rd down. And this Richmond Academy offense just seems a little bit, just a beat off.
Yeah.
So another big 3rd down for this Harlem defense. Trying to get the ball back, 3:45 left in the half. Mentioned Frank Inman winning that state title. There have been two football state championships here at Richmond Academy, 51 and 56. It's been 65 years since they have tasted the title in football here, and Murphy will keep it for a couple, and the Musketeers will have to give it back up.
You know, it's a shame. One of the really good years for Richmond Academy, they were overshadowed. You know, that year in 1995, Augusta was loaded. Josie, of course, went 15-0 and won the state title. But, you know, the two toughest games Josie got all year was against Laney and Richmond. And Richmond Academy had a kid named LeVar Rainey who put on a show.
Future Augusta Stallion.
I think it was 13-10 final. I mean, the two stiffest tests they got. And one of them was from Richmond. They had a good team that year, coached by.
As Harlem's got great field position at the 38-yard line.
They had the old Michigan Wolverine helmets back then.
Like Barfield had that one go off the side of his foot, so Harlem's going to have.
Sideline if you want.
Harlem's going to have about 63 yards to go and just under 3 minutes to do it. And with that, take it back down for another Augusta Auto Auction sideline report and Matt Lane.
Thanks, John. So far, Harlem really has a momentum, not only on a scoring basis, but also just in, like you and Ashley are talking about, how it all feels. And right here, just a few minutes left before halftime, right shy under 3 minutes. Decent field position. Might see if they try to get it in the end zone one more time and really put the pressure on ARC.
Well, a pretty good start as Williams picks up 5. You'll see Matt again at the Eichel's Law Firm halftime show. We look forward to that. As Richmond Academy has a player come off, Tyshawn Bell had his helmet come off, so he'll have to come out for a play. Gave Williams 6, 2nd and 4.
And they drew Richmond off
Sure
there.
did. Automatic first down for the Bulldogs.
On the
Fairway
defense.
forward.
5-yard penalty. Play it down.
You know, they ran kind of an odd alignment that caught Richmond off guard a little bit.
The T-Mobile student section on the Harlem sideline. Some of the students made the trip down I-20, Riverwatch Parkway tonight. High snap on the Wild Dog formation, and boy, nothing.
And it's so important to get a good snap in that formation because a lot of times he's running, and if he's got to catch that snap, you know, that slows him down. It allows the defense to get in there, and that's exactly what happened there.
Actually, looks like he lost a yard. There you can see Mark Boyder, the second here head man at Harlem. As I mentioned, no stranger to the program. Newman swings it out under pressure. It's going to be Williams. Pickup of about 6.
Got out of bounds as well.
And gets out of bounds, yeah. Stops the clock with 1:31 left to play. So big third down here for, well, both teams. Third and we'll call it 7. They are in Richmond Academy territory. Newman got a good block and overthrew his man on the near side. He was looking for guess who. If you're going to look for somebody on third down, that's the guy to go to.
Might as well look for Howard for sure.
So nothing doing for the Bulldogs, and now the Musketeers will have a chance with 84 seconds left.
Yeah, Howard came into this game with 14 catches. 7 of those last week.
Yeah, 158 yards worth of catches last week for John Howard.
He had some big games from receivers last week. Malik Leverett for Greenbrier had 7 catches for 186.
What a kick by Sterner.
Wow.
And a great roll on the end of it as well. Going to back the Musketeers all the way up to the 14-yard line.
Well, we said he's one of the areas, if not the best, he's certainly one of the best. Showed you there.
Officially a 35-yard kick for Sterner, but boy, it seemed like about a 60-yarder. But it's exactly what the Bulldogs needed. 1:12 left to play, nursing a 6-point lead.
Well, if you're Richmond, you obviously would prefer points, but you also don't want to make a mistake here deep in your own territory and give Harlem a chance to add to their lead.
Well, this is sort of a page of the Harlem playbook as Freeman keeps it. And not much. Dragged down by a gentleman who is not on my Harlem roster.
Haven't heard much from Freeman tonight, and that's a shame because, again, Richmond needs him or McDuffie or somebody to make a big play or two, get this offense going. And they're going to direct snap it to Freeman again. Now, again, he has played quarterback in the past. They've got Murphy lined up wide to the near side of the field.
High snap to Freeman. Flag down.
Holding.
Going to be holding.
On the offense. 10-yard penalty, replay the down.
Negates the nice gain from Freeman.
Well, penalties have derailed anything Richmond really wanted to do tonight on offense on several possessions.
And my guess is after the penalty, backs them up all the way inside the 10-yard line, that Lyle Burns might just be content to take this to the locker room and live to fight another half. Penalties?
Yeah.
8 penalties for 69 yards worth of penalties for Richmond Academy. He might also address that at the half.
I got a feeling they'll hear that. I don't know if they'll hear the number, but they will definitely hear about the penalties.
Oh.
Great play. That was Landon Beal.
Yeah.
The junior linebacker. Good to see him get in there and make a play. I've known that kid since he was old enough to carry a football about the age of 5. And nice play there by Landon.
Yeah, pretty darn good half of football for Harlem, especially considering the way last week ended. It a 6-0 lead and a sort of an exclamation point there at the end of the half. We're through one half of football. Harlem 6, Richmond Academy nothing. The Eichholz Law Firm halftime show with Matt Lane after this.
And welcome down on the field for our Eichholz Law Firm halftime show. I'm now joined by Coach Cornell Harris from the Augusta United Graduate Academy. And Coach Harris, I know you are a mainstay here in the community, former high school coach. Me and you were talking before we came on. There's just something about Friday nights. Am I right?
It's a wonderful thing to be out here on a Friday night. Good night, good football, Harlem, ARC.
And you've seen a lot of good football over your years in coaching it. Can you talk about your latest project and being the head coach?
Okay, well, I'm actually the founder, CEO of Augusta United Graduate Academy. My head coach is TJ Norris, formerly defensive coordinator at Helsingborg High School. So what we're doing is we actually have graduates of high school that come in and we help them get recruited for football for the next year. Because of COVID, things of that nature, some kids may be undersized, some kids may have, their grades be enriched. What we do is they come in, they're part-time college students or they're full-time at Augusta Tech or Payne, and then they play football for us, and then we do financial literacy and things of that nature.
I was going to say some of the accountability stuff that you were talking about, have you watched that kind of add to the program as well?
Yes, because a lot of guys, all they need to do in order to be successful, understand their options, understand that they have backing from their community, things of that nature, and that can help them grow a long way.
And you guys have already been practicing. Have you seen some of the excitement out of the players and getting that extra opportunity?
Oh yeah, it's always exciting anytime you get a chance to be able to play football on the next level, to be able to go to the next level. It's always a good thing. Our guys are encouraged. We done played 2 games so far and 1 scrimmage. Looking forward to the more games that we have later on this season.
And real quick, before the band takes the field, can you tell folks how they can get in touch with you and where they can check you out at?
All right, we're on Facebook, Augusta United Graduate Academy. Also, we're on Twitter, Augusta United Graduate Academy. We have a website, DAUGA.com. You can come out this Sunday and next Sunday. We have home games at EDS Field, 1337 Florence Wells Road at 2 o'clock.
Excellent. Cornell Harris from the Augusta United Graduate Academy joining us here on the field for the Eichholz Law Firm halftime show. What we're going to do now is actually throw it onto the field for the Harlem Bulldog Band.
1, 2, 3, 1, ready, go.
And that was the Harlem Bulldog Band here at ARC Stadium. I want to let you know here for the Eichholz Law Firm halftime show, we will be back right after this with Jason Medlin, ARC's principal. And welcome back on the field for our Eichholz Law Firm halftime show. We're now joined by Mr. Jason Medlin, ARC's principal. Thank you for joining us first and foremost. So obviously still a lot going on in terms of, nationally, especially with schools, but how's your school year been going? How have you guys been resilient through all this?
Yeah, it's going pretty smooth. So we're taking every necessary precaution that we can take as far as COVID's concerned, and we're happy to have all the kids back in the building this year. So.
Is it kind of a contrast from last year? Can't you tell? I mean, it seems like here for the student section, it seems like obviously they enjoy being at school more than learning from home.
Right, definitely. So last year we had about half our kids at home learning from home, and we had about half our kids in the building. And so I think everyone's excited to be back and be together, and that's evidenced by our fan base tonight.
And is there any neat story or anything positive you've kind of seen, students notwithstanding just through this year and kind of that belief that everything's going to be okay, just kind of keep your head down and keep working?
Yeah, I'd say, for us, we've been able both through last year and this year to keep the building open every day. And you're not getting that accomplished unless you have teamwork. And when folks are out, other folks are covering. When students are out, teachers are catching them up on their work. So collectively, I'd say we're writing a pretty good story.
That's right, especially, and I forgot about that last year, not closing the building. Such a strong statement to be able to make this day and age. Jason Medlin, ARC's principal, joining us here on the field for our Eichholz Law Firm halftime show. Thank you. Real quick, want to give out some hardware to some very deserving candidates. Our Augusta Sports Council Ray Guy Award punters of the game. I want to start off from Harlem. I know the guys upstairs have been talking about him a good bit. Number 12, Brett Sterner with some big punts so far in this game. And also for ARC, number 15, Reed Barfield, your Augusta Sports Council Ray Guy Award punters of the game. After this, we'll be back with more Eichholz Law Firm halftime show.
Welcome back to the Eichholz Law Firm halftime show. It's 6-0. Harlem leading at the half over ARC here at Frank Inman Field at ARC Stadium. We're keeping our eyes on a number of big matchups across the area in our South Carolina Governor's School for Agriculture scoreboard, AB.
Yeah, we got a lot of games around the area and some surprises. How about Midland Valley leading Barnwell 21-20? That would shock some folks. North Augusta, they're down 13-0 to Lawrence. Some other scores, Silver Bluff leads Aiken 13-0. Augusta Prep looking good, 28-6. They lead John Hancock. Monroe area out in front of Lakeside 14-3. Burke County leads Cross Creek. It's 20-8 there. Washington Wilkes with their outstanding quarterback. They lead Hancock Central. That scores 30-0. They're in the second quarter. Batesburg-Leesville leads Dreer 13-10. Also, you've got Tatnall Square over Aquinas 39-14. 39, and it's still in the first half there. Augusta Christian rolling. They're leading First Baptist 27-6. Ridge Spring Minetta with their outstanding quarterback Remedy Leapart. They lead Blackville Hilda 16-8. South Aiken leads Swansea. It's 21-8 there. Metter leading Jenkins County 26-0. Burke County, I mentioned that one already. It's 20-6 over Cross Creek. Some other scores. Laney having a great year, and they are hanging in there with a really good Putnam County team at 6-6. Greenbrier leads Walnut Grove 14-6, and Thompson leads Morgan County. That score is 21-7. Those are your scores from around the area. Brought to you by the South Carolina Governor's School for Agriculture.
And with that, let's take a look at our QBs by the quarter for the first half. Always brought to you, as always, by Culpeper Ace Hardware.
Yeah, Ryan Newman, 3 of 6 passing for 36 yards, a far cry from the 13 for 13 he was last week against Lincoln County. And on the other side of things, Jack Murphy, 7 of 15, 45 yards. He did have the one pick down near the end zone. Running the football, Murphy, 4 carries for 8 yards. And that's your QBs by the quarter, brought to you by Culpeper Ace Hardware in Evans.
So 6-0 Harlem leads here at the half as we take a look at how the Bulldogs got here.
Yeah, watching the end of this run by Boyd, he gets pushed right there. His offensive lineman gave him a little shove, and again, they didn't wrap him up. He's able to race 39 yards for the score, and that's the only scoring we had in the first half.
Yeah, so far that's been it. And so 6-0 Harlem leads which I think sets us up for an offensive explosion in the second half.
Well, we expected a close game, and I thought it'd be a little more high-scoring than this. One thing that's holding Richmond back, 8 penalties for 69 yards compared to just 2 penalties for 19 yards against Harlem. As far as the yardage, everything's pretty close. I mean, you look at Harlem with 82 yards rushing to Richmond's 52, passing 45 for Richmond, 36 for Harlem. So total yards only separated by 21 yards, 118 to 97, Harlem leading. Turnovers and penalties. Richmond with a turnover and the 8 penalties. That is the difference in the game tonight. As far as stars on offense, the leader is Jacorius Boyd. 10 carries for 63 yards and a touchdown for the sophomore. He is by far the star of stars as far as individual honors go tonight on the offensive side of the ball.
And Nathan Edwards brings up an interesting fact. Richmond Academy started its possession inside Harlem territory twice in the first half.
Can't wait.
Bulldogs able to bow their neck and get a defensive stand. So, minute 30 to go here in the half, and we're getting ready for the second half kickoff. And if you remember at the beginning of the night, the coin toss was won by Richmond Academy. They elected to defer, so the Musketeers will have the opening kickoff, or the second half kickoff. When we start the second half, that's the Eichholz Law Firm halftime show. The second half kick coming up when we return. Well, welcome back to the Eichholz Law Firm halftime show. We talked a little bit about the history of this stadium and take a look at what it looked like way back in 1941. That would be looking from the school building.
If you look close, I'm riding my bike in the background.
This place opened in 1930. It's actually just a year younger than Sanford Stadium on the campus of the University of Georgia up in Athens. And speaking of Georgia, maybe the biggest game ever played here, October 16th, 1943. The University of Georgia played a game on this field.
That's right.
Against what was known as the Daniel Field Flyers. Back during World War II, a lot of the Southeastern Conference schools didn't have enough players to field teams because the players were over fighting the war, and some of the former players and amateurs that were stationed at what was then the flight school, Daniel Field, formed a team, and they played the University of Georgia, and they beat the University of Georgia 18-7. The Georgia team coached by the legendary Wally Butts.
Be glad there was no social media back then. Rip Georgia.
Boy, well, Coach Butts would have been in a lot of trouble. So this place has a lot of history. This school opened back in, or they played its first game back in 1922. But if you notice the Richmond Academy helmets, look at the left side. Of course, they're all facing the wrong way as we take a look at the T-Mobile student section here at ARC. But on the left side of the Richmond Academy helmets is the year 1783, which I think is one of the coolest things. This is the 6th oldest public high school in the United States. It was founded way back in 1783. They played their first football game, I said 1922. That's Harlem. They played their first game here at Richmond Academy in 1902. They were down on Bay Street back then, right on the river. They moved over to Telfair Street in 1857, and this current building here on Walton Way has been here since 1927. Amazing.
Yeah, their building, by the way, one of the just beautiful high schools. I know a lot of people have the big, modern, nice buildings, but it's pretty cool, this building as well.
Well, they built a new wing, which they moved most of the high school into this year, and it looks like it's been here since
forever,
1927. So we're about ready for the second half kickoff. AB, well, there we go.
There you go.
And so to the left there, just off of the screen, that is the new wing, and it looks just like the old wing. Yeah, right there. That's new over there.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Sort of where you see those column-looking things. Great job by our guys in the truck to get a shot of that. And our camera team on the top of the press box. Well done, guys. All right, AB, 6-0 Harlem. What are you looking for in the second half?
Well, if you're Richmond, you got to establish the run. They're not going to win if they can't run the football, bottom line. They got really pass happy in that first half, and that's fine. But, penalties and turnovers hurt them in the first half. They've got to run the football.
And Bryce Ivy showed some flashes of brilliance in the first half, but held it just 34 yards on the ground. And the ball is loose on the kickoff. And the Bulldogs have it. Wow, what a turn of events.
Well, we said turnovers and penalties. They had a turnover and 8 penalties, and that's turnover number 2.
Brock Logan comes out of the pile with the football. And things go from bad to worse for ARC.
Yeah. There's a lot of even, there's a lot of parity in the area, even teams this year, which means the teams that turn it over and have penalties are going to lose games. And that's what's happened tonight for Richmond.
So great opportunity for the Bulldogs starting from the 25-yard line. And still on his feet, chugging forward. I believe it was Boyd.
Yeah, Boyd's been the workhorse tonight. That puts him up near 70 yards rushing on 11 carries. Again, he's just a 10th grader. I mean, think about the running backs they've had. A.J. Brown, who's at Georgia Southern. Cameron Garnett. Cameron Garnett, the only reason he had 3,000-yard rushing seasons is because he only played defense his sophomore year. He would have had 4. He is at ETSU. Then you got Jeremiah Ellis, 1,000-yard rusher last year, who's injured this season.
Williams on second down. Bounces it outside. Now back inside. And it'll be about 3 yards shy.
And Williams is on pace just for the regular season to have about 1,250. And Boyd's on pace for about 1,175.
And Williams held to just 18 yards in the first half. He'd like to get it going.
Yeah, he was the star of the area. I mean, he might have been the area MVP in the first 3 weeks. And the last 2 weeks, Boyd has sort of taken over. Newman, they threw the ball a lot. But the first 3 weeks of the season, 6 touchdowns in 3 games. For Williams, he was the star.
Bulldogs need to get to the 10. Good hard run straight ahead by Williams.
Well, he ran over number 5, Andrew Williams, but Williams did a good job of holding on to his leg.
The spot's going to have him just short.
And him holding on allowed the linebacker to come over and help out.
Needed 5, got about 4.5, and I would guess Mark Boyd is not going to think twice about this.
They're going to go for it. Sterner can make it from there, but
4th and 1. Williams, first down, then some. Williams, a fairway forward first down.
Well, he bounced it to the outside and then cut back inside. Nice run by Williams. They're rushing up the
3-yard line, 13-yard pickup for Williams. And it's not broke. Don't fix it. Williams twisting ahead again, and he is close. Not quite.
They're trying to pull the football out, and then Thomas said, if you're going to do that, I'm going to pull him into the end zone. Andre Thomas.
The 2nd and goal at the 2-yard line.
Well, Boyd had been the workhorse tonight, but this drive it's been Williams.
And it's Williams, and it's a touchdown.
His 7th touchdown of the season on the ground. And just like that, the turnover and a score. And Harlem is up by 2 possessions now.
And the Bulldogs made quick work of that one. Williams came in with 500 yards on the ground this year. And again, you held to just 18 in the first half. But doubled that on that drive. And this extra point is good. So, just like that, it is 13-0. Bulldogs 9:24 left in quarter number 3. $13-0, Harlem. Off the turnover to begin the second half. And Sterner will kick it away, and the Bulldogs may have it again. It's going to depend on whether he signaled for a fair catch.
Yeah.
And with the flags coming in, I'm guessing they're going to say he did.
And that's what I've heard coaches say, that on the pooch kick like that, automatically
kick interference on the kicking team.
And so, very smart move.
Yeah.
First down.
That eliminates
Reed Barfield.
That eliminates the pooch kick almost. If you call that fair catch, they can't go get it without you. You know, they got to give you a fair shot to catch the ball. Despite the fact that it had gone 10 yards, that doesn't matter when that person's hand is up waving that fair catch.
I looked up and saw the ball go off his fingertips.
Yeah.
And thought immediately that Harlem would come up with another.
Well, and your first thought is it goes 10 yards, but again, with the fair catch signal, Nathan, quickly saw that.
But the end result is going to be Musketeer ball in Harlem territory. And again, we told you at the half, this is the third time Richmond Academy has started inside Harlem territory. They've come up empty the first 2 times.
They got to be able to run the football at some point here.
We'll try the pitch to McDuffie. And he'll be run out at the original line of scrimmage. Barely got back to the line.
Well, they put McDuffie at running back to try and utilize his speed. But that time, Harlem did a good job snuffing that one out.
They did give him a yard, so 2nd and 9. A lot of pressure on you tonight, AB. You're on quite a roll with the Stump AB trivia questions.
Here we go.
You're 3-1 this year.
I don't like this one. This school's been open too long. You can find a lot of stuff.
I will say, I'll tell you this. As McDuffie will take it to the outside. A one-man miss. He'll have a fairway forward first down inside the 40. Nice, good run by McDuffie.
And utilizing again that speed.
Pick up a 10.
Coming over to help with the tackle.
But yes, I will warn you. We're not going way back, but we're going back.
Okay.
Into Richmond Academy history. First and 10 from the 39-yard line, and they'll just keep feeding McDuffie. And this is what you said, AB. I don't know if you McDuffie dragged down at the 37-yard line. They are going to have to establish the run, and that is exactly what they're doing right now.
Tyson Maddox made the tackle there for Harlem.
Swinging out. Made one-man miss. Did Freeman. Lost the ball, got it back. Boy, fortunate bounce for the Musketeers. And Freeman comes up holding his right arm.
That was odd. Lost the football, got it back, lost it again.
Don't think I've ever seen anybody lose it twice and get it back twice on the same run, but Freeman able to. And it'll be 3rd and long 4. Ball on the 33-yard line. McDuffie didn't get a whole lot of help, and a wall of white brings him down.
Yeah, Vandre Thomas and company, and Landon Beal even came over from this side of the field, beat his man, and got around and helped pull the ball carrier down.
See some of the players with their hands on their hips. It is a nice night out, but spent enough time on the field. The time of possession in the first half was fairly evenly split.
Yeah.
12:51 for ARC, 11:09. The Musketeers actually had the ball a little bit more. So we'll see if fatigue plays a factor late in this game. Ivy back in now. And he'll have the first down, a fairway forward first down to the 28-yard line.
Yeah, Hart got him from behind, but not before Ivy able to pick up the first down. You know, they're keeping this drive going. They're running the football. They need a score. And again, they're showing Harlem that they can run the football, at least on this drive. Nothing big, nothing fancy, but they're keeping the drive alive with short runs. And there you go, another penalty.
Going to drive live.
You want to sit?
That's penalty number 9 at least.
Yeah, 8 for 69 yards in the first half. And It's just such a momentum killer, AD.
Yeah.
You, as you said, they're running the football. The drive is moving. You pick up the first down, and then it just deflates you.
Well, and how they're moving the ball, they're doing it on 3 and 5 yard runs. So when you're first and 10, you run it 3 times, you probably get a first down. First and 15, that's a different equation. So big penalty there.
Murphy's trying to go to McDuffie.
Well, the one play that the little in route with McDuffie that they've beaten a lot of teams on in the last couple of years, we haven't seen them run that, throw that route yet. They're throwing a lot of screens. We'll see if they try it here.
2nd and 15. Need to get to the 18-yard line. Murphy into traffic, and it is picked off. Jordan Bowers with another interception, and I take that back. That was Maddox again.
Yeah.
His second of the night.
Yeah, I think it might have hit Landon Beal. Let's see. 35.
Yeah, it hit Camden Maddox. Well, how about that? Maddox to Maddox on the interception.
Yeah. Hit Camden Maddox, and Dyson comes up with the pick.
So they'll show that one at Thanksgiving. And another big play for this Harlem defense. And the Bulldogs take over again. And for the third time, Richmond Academy starts inside Harlem territory and comes away with nothing.
3 penalties, 9 penalties, 3 turnovers tonight for Richmond. No turnovers for Harlem.
A bit of a delay here. There is an injured Bulldog. I couldn't see who it was, but looks like we're ready to go now. There we are. Looks like a cramp. It looks like it was Corey Boyd, so let's hope he can get that worked out. 32 is Boyd in at quarterback, I meant to say. And he'll get pushed back. And Boyd, the one guy I don't want me pushing me back, it's Alonzo Jones.
Yeah. Matter of fact, if he's about to, I'm just going to say stop. I'll do it. I'll move.
I'll fall down. I'm by myself. Thanks. Pick up a 4 by Boyd on the direct snap. 2nd and 6.
Again, 3 turnovers, 9 penalties. Richmond just hurting themselves tonight.
Newman back in at QB. Throw.
Got
Long
it.
one. Howard. Complete. Big gain inside the 35.
That was a little underthrown. If he had let him, that's a touchdown. Howard did a good job concentrating, catching the football in traffic with a defender on him. And it was Ivy who was right there with him, but watch as Howard had to kind of slow up and wait. But watch him use his body. Basketball player here, watch. Kind of uses the way. He didn't really as much as I thought he did. But he had to wait on the football, or that's 6 for sure.
And a fairway forward first down, 33 yards. And now Boyd back in. And a flag comes in.
Tell you, John Howard has had a big impact on this game. The difference is that's just the third penalty against Harlem.
Mm-hmm. Left guard.
And again, the turnovers, 3-0. Richmond with 3, Harlem none.
We'll make it 1st and 15. We've talked about this Harlem offense. Just when you expect them to pound it on the ground, they go to the air. Now Boyd will take the direct snap again. Through traffic. Has room. Inside the 30.
Well, I love that setup because he fakes it. You've got Williams running to one side of the field, and Boyd can kind of, almost like an option for lack of a better term, he can either hand it to him or take off himself, and he just reads it, obviously quarterback read, just read the defense. That read option, and with those two, it's super dangerous.
11 more for Boyd.
Now here comes Newman. You got to worry about him throwing the ball.
Williams in the backfield with him. And it'll be Williams. He'll have the first down. inside the 25.
Well, if Harlem scores again, Richmond Academy is in a dire situation because they have not been a quick strike offense this game for sure, and really this season. That's where they miss Curry, the home run hitter.
And a Bulldog is shaken up.
Like it's a cramp.
So while they work out that cramp, we will go to America's favorite segment on Game Night Live.
Oh, Lord.
Stump A-B trivia question. So we've talked about the history of Richmond Academy. One of the biggest names, maybe the biggest name ever to play here, Pat Dye, who of course went on to greatness coaching the Auburn Tigers in the SEC. That was his third head coaching job in college football. What were Pat Dye's first two head coaching jobs? Give you a second to think about that. We'll have the answer in the fourth quarter. Nathan handing us a number here. Harlem has thrown it 7 times, run it 23 times tonight, almost the mirror image of what they did 1 week ago.
Yeah, they attempted 33 passes last week against Lincoln County. So if you're getting game film on them, you better get a couple. don't count on one.
They're like a box of chocolates.
Never know what you're going to get, John.
That's true. First and 10. And very dangerous. Almost picked off by Andrew Williams.
Well, if you're Richmond, that's what you need. Return the favor. You've coughed it up 3 times. Costly ones, too. I mean, you think about it. The first interception was down near the goal line, about to score. The fumble on the kickoff gave Harlem great field position for a score. And then the last interception, they were driving. So all really costly spots for ARC.
And it's going to make our decision very difficult for the McDonald's defensive player of the game if Harlem is to hang on here. But plenty of football left. Howard did not get the block. And nice job of wrapping him up and tackling. There's a flag down.
Yeah, it looked
that
like
was Dalen Foley.
Yeah, Foley maybe didn't get faked out there by Howard.
But let's watch the penalty.
On defense.
So the personal foul goes against the Musketeers, and the penalty yardage continues to add up for ARC.
Yeah, almost 10 for, 85 yards or more now. Actually, almost 90 yards.
And perhaps more importantly, a big first down for Harlem. That will put them inside the Augusta Disposal and Recycling red zone.
If you have double-digit penalties and 3 turnovers, I would imagine the percentage of teams winning with that is about 15% or maybe less. You just can't do that.
They're at the 11, so they can get a first down without a touchdown. Boyd is the back. And he'll get the rock. And he'll
Good job.
Stood up.
Yeah,
nice job by the purple.
Yeah, Richmond defense was ready there. I tell you, he's had a good night tonight for Richmond. Is number 3, Travis Thompson.
Yeah, 5 tackles in the first half, 2 of them for loss.
Yeah, he's played good tonight. He sort of stood out in a performance by Richmond that at this point they're not going to want to remember. Even though it's not a blowout, they just have nothing to really hang their hat on tonight.
It feels like it's a larger lead than 13 to nothing. And Boyd wrapped up again. Great job by Grady Nogle.
I got to tell you, pound for pound, I don't know if there's anybody tougher than Nogle. He played great the first time we saw them against Augusta Christian. He's made 2 or 3 big plays tonight.
Loss of 3, and ARC stiffening its neck.
He's got 4 tackles tonight. And if you look at him, he looks like he probably weighs about 145, 155.
Newman has his man Sterner complete out of bounds. And I would imagine this is 4 down territory. And Mark Boyer will leave the offense on the field. So big 4th down here.
Well, much bigger for Richmond than it is for Harlem. I mean, you want to get it if you're Harlem, but if you're Richmond, you almost can't allow it.
A Ken Nugent one call, that's all moment for Mark Boyer. And he will send Sterner out for the field goal.
Well, this will make it
a 30-yarder. His long this season is 29, so this would be Brett Sterner's long field goal of 2021. They don't kick a lot of field goals, but from 30 out. And let me tell you something, AB. That was good from a lot longer than 30.
That might even get from 50. Nailed that one.
Well, we know Sterner can kick it, and he did, and he gives Harlem a 16-0 lead with 2:20 to play in the third. With that, we'll head right back down, feed to the sidelines for an Augusta Auto Auction sideline report, and check in once again with Matt Lane.
Thank you, John. Huge stop there for the Musketeers here, still keeping it a 2-possession game, somehow right there towards their end zone, right in their red zone. A big stop. We'll see if that gives them any momentum, because Harlem's just been able to really milk the clock this quarter and run the ball.
Yeah, great point, Matt. It is a two-possession game, so the Musketeers, who just really haven't been able to put anything together on offense, AB, would need a touchdown, 2-point conversion, another touchdown, another 2-point conversion.
Nathan just said a return. They need something to get them going. It's just they seem flat. They've seemed flat the whole night. And
let's be honest, they probably wouldn't say it to you, but it's just tough to overcome some of the stuff this team's been put through already this season.
No doubt.
And the disappointment coming off of the success they had a year ago. And again, the fair catch made. And the Musketeers will be first and 10 at the 26-yard line.
Barfield again calling for the fair catch.
And we have a Bulldog shaking up another cramp. Tony Hart down there. They'll stretch him out. And while they do that, we'll tell you, we mentioned the history of this, not only the stadium, but this school dating back to 1783. Did you know that our nation's first president, George Washington, actually delivered the commencement address in 1791 to the graduating class of that year? How many schools can say that? It was part of President Washington's Southern tour, his final big tour as President of the United States. He wanted to make sure he saw all 13 colonies before he left office, and also spent the night in Waynesboro.
But that was a hot ticket back in the day.
Yeah. Can you imagine? Well, and that's why Washington Road is named Washington Road. That is the route he took coming into Augusta. Now you know. So it looks like they're having some trouble getting that cramp worked out on Hart, so he's going to come out of the ball game.
Well, if you're Richmond, this is a must-score possession here.
Walking under his own power for the most part, so we'll keep an eye on him. And Musketeers take over at the 26-yard line.
If you've never had one of those, you just don't know. That is agony.
Well, if you ever had one of those calf cramps you wake up with in the middle of the night, that's what that looked like.
Just locks up. There's nothing you can do. It's kind of like having the wind knocked out of you. You know it's not going to kill you, but there's nothing you can do.
Nothing you can do about it. You just got to suffer.
You got to suffer for a bit, yep.
Four-yard gain on first down. Murphy will throw, and it's McDuffie. Dances his way out at the 35-yard line.
Well, they keep throwing that screen. I'm waiting for them to fake that short throw and throw one deep.
And Murphy can sling it. You mentioned his prowess as a baseball player. 3rd and 4. And this is a massive third down for Richmond Academy.
And one thing Murphy has, too, is experience. I mean, he's been a starter. You know, he split time as a freshman, but he's basically been a starter since his freshman year.
And shows a little bit of that right there to pick up the first down.
And took a shot at the end from, I think that was Holden Rippey that got him, but good hard run by Murphy.
And another Bulldog shaken up. Boy, that is the one thing that has not gone Harlem's way tonight. There have been a lot of Bulldogs come up with cramps.
And I believe, is that Vondre Thomas? That's big 66. He's their best player on that defensive side of the ball. Matter of fact, their two best players, he and Hart probably, and both of them with cramps right now. Midland Valley continues to lead Barnwell. It is now 27-26. That would be one of the bigger upsets in the state of South Carolina tonight.
Midland Valley with first-year coach. Trying to get the pride back in Mustang Valley.
Well, let's take a look at some of the other scores from around the area. Get you caught up here in addition to that Midland Valley game. We've got Fox Creek on top of Eau Claire. That is 41-0 Fox Creek. Thompson leads Morgan County 21-7. Washington Wilkes just hammering Hancock Central 45-0. Also, you've got Lawrence leading North Augusta 20-10. Silver Bluff 13-0 over Aiken. Butler struggling against Oglethorpe. It's 10-0. Greenbrier leads Walnut Grove 21-6 at the half. South Aiken going to get a win tonight. They lead Swansea 35-8. Augusta Christian also rolling 34-6 over First Baptist. Tattnall Square at the half 39-14 over Aquinas. Burke County easily over Cross Creek. It's 28-8 in that one. Lakeside struggling 25-3. They trail Monroe area, and that game is at the half as well. Our scores, of course, again brought to you by the South Carolina Governor's School
for Agriculture.
There you go.
Vandry Thomas was the player shaken up. He was able to come off under his own power, but again, you have two of the best players in that Bulldog defense on the sidelines right now.
And I tell you, I don't know if Landon Beal, who we didn't really call his name in the Lincoln County game, I don't know if he was hurt. He didn't play in that game. But tonight, he's made an impact on the game. They've moved him up. He's kind of played all over, fullback, in the past, fullback, linebacker. They've moved him up on the defensive front, and he's using his quickness to get free, and he's made some plays tonight.
2nd and 9. Here's the deep ball, AB, you were looking for. And it is broken up, almost intercepted. He was looking for Freeman. Rippey back there with him, among others. And we have another Bulldog down. This one does not look too serious.
Yeah, it's John Howard. But again, it's some of their better play. Well, and sometimes you imagine that because the guys who are on the field the most are going to have them. But get those guys some pickle juice, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. None for me, thanks. Our good friend Robert Leslie, the trainer for Harlem, making his paycheck count tonight.
Yeah.
It's Freeman. McDuffie, I'm sorry. And McDuffie stays on his feet across midfield, close to the first down. Going to be about 2 yards short, and that'll bring us to the end of the third quarter. So the Musketeers on the move, but facing a big 4th down. Trailing 16-0 with 12 minutes left to play.
4th and 2 for the Musketeers from the 50.
4th and 2 from midfield for the Musketeers, trailing 16-0. High snap, Murphy fires, first down, incomplete. He had it, and then it was knocked out of there.
Yeah, Holden Rippey.
Boy,
maybe that's why they hadn't run that play.
With a shot.
Yeah, hit of the game candidate for sure.
And the Bulldogs will take over on downs after a magnificent play by Holden Rippey. The Bulldogs have the scoreboard and the clock and are 11 minutes and 53 seconds away from their 3rd win of the season. And
ARC's just been flat tonight.
More importantly, as we mentioned at the outset of the broadcast, this would make Harlem 1-0 in the region.
Yeah.
And a very tough region with Thompson and Burke County still to come. It's Williams. Williams to the outside.
Well, that's
very close to another first.
That's a little burst we hadn't really seen from him in the time we've watched him last week and this week that we did see in highlights from the first 3 weeks. He was able to bust that one to the outside.
Going to mark him out at the 43-yard line, so he'll be a couple of yards short.
Wild Burns not pleased with the contain there. After this play, we'll try to get our QBs by the quarter.
Trips to the right for Harlem. Instead, it's Williams. First down. A fairway forward first down, nearly 30-yard line, and that will bring us to our QBs by the quarter, brought to you as always by Culpeper Ace Hardware.
Pretty efficient for Ryan Newman for Harlem. He's 5 of 9 for 76 yards. A couple of big ones going to John Howard. And then for Richmond Academy, it is 10 of 21 for Jack Murphy for 59 yards, but he does have the 2 interceptions. 6 rushes for 17 yards for Murphy as well. That's your QBs by the quarter, brought to you by Culpeper Ace Hardware.
We have another Bulldog shaken up. This time it is Trayon Lewis. This one does not appear to be very severe. He's number 62. Will come out for a play. Pickup of 10 on that previous play for Williams, so 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs at the 33-yard line of Richmond Academy. Newman, long shot.
Wide open.
Wide open. Complete inside the 5. It is Jackson Rockefeller, 1st and goal, Harlem.
That's one of those Rockefeller says, if you just throw it earlier, I got a touchdown. Newman was going to go short to Howard, and then he looked and saw the defender. No one went deep with Rockefeller, and it was wide open, and that's going to put Newman over 100 yards passing. And 31 yards there.
But Harlem 1st and goal from the 2, 31 yards from Newman to Rockefeller.
This is going to all but lock it up here if they score.
Williams, not quite yet.
Yeah, good job that time, ARC up front. It was first guy there was Tyshawn Bell. There he is, 62. These Musketeers need a stop, big play, something right here. They cannot let Harlem in the end zone. And look who's in the backfield.
Yeah, how about that?
Vandry
Thomas.
They're going to give it to the big fella. Did he get in there?
No signal. Not quite.
Well, you got to give it to him again, right?
You know the team wants to.
The team wants it for sure.
And Thomas is in the backfield again. It's Thomas.
There it is.
Refrigerator Thomas. Touchdown, Harlem.
All the linemen are happy about that one. They are all happy for Thomas on that one. And I got to tell you, that's not anything cute to run up the score. I could see them using him in a short down situation. I mean, he's a load, but he's quick. That was the thing we noticed about him 2 years ago, how quick he was for his size. Yeah.
Sterner for the point after.
Bit of a statement here tonight by the Bulldogs.
And how 23-0. All Harlem tonight on Walton Way. We wondered at the start of the broadcast how Harlem would respond after having its heart broken a week ago on Game Night Live. I'd say pretty darn well.
Yeah, this has been a really impressive game, and they've benefited now, Richmond Academy, with the penalties and the turnovers, but, credit Harlem for making plays,
Another pooch kick. This is Paul Reed. And Reed with a nice return. Dragged out the 40-yard line.
Reed saying, give me the football. Brock Logan with the tackle and the return.
And this, not that this game is by any stretch over 10 minutes and 1 second. There's a lot of football left. But this is a time for, if you're a Richmond Academy Musketeer and you want to make your statement for some playing time, this is the time to do it.
Put me in there, and I will make a play for you, Coach. Let's see. Murphy and his troops, they got to score, and they got to kind of score in a hurry. I mean, you've got, with everything falling perfectly, 3 touchdowns. You need a couple of conversions. And Harlem's just not going to give it to him.
Murphy comes out firing and completing to Freeman.
I don't know if Freeman's not 100%. We saw him holding his arm earlier. Because I got to tell you, that's what surprised me tonight, that Freeman hasn't been a bigger part of this game. McDuffie's made a few plays. Murphy's made a few plays. Running the ball. Bryce Ivy's had a couple, but I'm a little surprised that we haven't seen more from Freeman.
This time to the near side and right through the wickets of Jim Kay. And there's another name we have not called tonight.
Yeah.
And the pressure being applied. He could hear footsteps coming from Brock Logan. So just like that, 3rd down.
Almost seems like this is you're in 4 down.
Might be. Murphy just pitches it out very dangerously.
That was almost John Howard, John going the other way with it.
Yeah, Dalen Foley on the receiving end, but Howard right there. And now another Bulldog shaken up. If there's been one negative for Harlem tonight, that's been it. Injury after injury.
Yeah,
most of them appear to be just cramps.
I was going to say, they lead in cramps. Luckily, it's not turnovers and penalties.
They will be tied for first in the region. They'll be tied for first in the region, but they will lead the state in cramps after tonight.
Robert's going, guys, you're killing me. Stop.
On TV all.
Yeah.
Do this when we're not on live, Game Night Live. So Robert Leslie attending to the Harlem player that is down. So with that going on, we will answer our Stump AB trivia question. You've had almost a full quarter to think about it. To refresh our viewers' memories, the question is, former ARC great Pat Dye went on to great things coaching the Auburn Tigers in the SEC, but he had 2 head coaching jobs prior to Auburn. What were they?
John, I should know this because I did interview Pat twice, including once when he was releasing his book, which obviously I didn't read. But I have what I think are 2 spectacular guesses.
Oh, I can't wait for this.
I'm going South Georgia and Tulane.
Wow, you are not close.
East Carolina and Wyoming.
East Carolina and Wyoming. He was only at Wyoming for a year. He actually won a Southern Conference championship at East Carolina. And then, of course, 4 SEC championships at Auburn. But he was an All-American here in high school for the Richmond Academy Musketeers, won a state championship under Frank Inman.
And you know who else was? His brother Nat.
Yep.
Who also played at Georgia.
Great football family.
Yep.
3-time Coach of the Year, Pat Dye.
And they had he had a great nephew by the name of Parker Dye. There's a pretty good baseball player at Lakeside a few years back.
And, of course, we lost Coach Dye last year at the age of 80. So here we go. 4th down, 4th and 3. Got to get into Harlem territory for a 1st down. Gutsy call by Lyle Burns, and I think they're going to get a break.
Yeah.
Yep. Harlem's going to hand it to him.
Howard offsides.
On the defense.
For Harlem, though,
Result
I think
of the
that's
penalty,
only their 4th
first down.
penalty tonight, which when you compare it to Richmond with over 100 penalty or close to 100 penalty yards.
I thought you were going to say with over 100 penalties.
4 for 29 for Harlem.
No coach wants any penalties, but I think you can live with that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. If you gave me 4 for 29 the whole year, every game, take it in a heartbeat.
So a fairway forward 1st down at the 47. Now Murphy's going to fire and overthrow him.
You see he's got
a Freeman.
You see he's got an arm, though.
Oh, yeah. Well, the future is bright here, if nothing else. On the way into the stadium tonight, there were a group of kids playing football in the parking lot, and they asked me to throw them a couple of passes. And
I saw that, by the way.
There's some talent out there.
Are you saying the person throwing the passes?
No. Let's be clear.
No, I did see as I was pulling in, I stopped and I saw you talking to him.
Just think years from now they can say, who was that guy? 2nd and 10. Ivy. Yeah, pick up a 5.
Yeah, no give up there in Ivy. He's hit that hole hard that time. You know, these kids, like you said, they've been through a lot, and coming off a good year, and then, you know, you lose a great player, and you know, they had a tough schedule. You know, they had to play some really good teams here. And
well, and again, game not over. I love the Border Bowl helmet, by the way.
Yeah.
I absolutely adore the Border Bowl helmet on Alonzo Jones. It's a tradition unlike any other. As they'll be about 2 short, so bring up another.
Speaking of Border Bowl, we might have some of these guys playing.
Yeah, I would almost guarantee you we're going to see if we have a few of these names in January. Of course, Lyle Burns from Richmond Academy is our coach for Team Georgia.
Yep.
Derek Youngblood, the 80 at Barnwell, is our coach for Team South Carolina. And the process has already begun to choose the rosters. Looking forward to getting that game back on the field. That was tough last year. Had to cancel the game basically at the last second due to COVID.
Yeah, I felt for those kids. It was already a tough enough year, and you know, and it really what COVID's done is really thrown recruiting into for kids this year, because kids in college are getting 5th and 6th years, and you know, coaches, and then they got the transfer situation. It's really left these kids in high school not knowing what they're going to do. Obviously, the 4- and 5-star guys are fine, but those guys who are trying to decide between Division I, Division II, whatever, you know, they've been left in limbo, and it's some area players. You got guys like Zach Blackwell and, you know, Brooks Pangle, who are going to play somewhere. But, man, you would like to have those offers in hand and know where you're going, and it's just pushed everything back. And it's, you know, you feel for those guys.
I remember talking to Reed Johnson from Lakeside last year, of course, playing lacrosse at Notre Dame, and that was one thing he faced is his playing time was going to be severely limited because some of the seniors from last year are allowed to come back this year. So coming out of the timeout, it'll be 4th and 4, and Musketeers are going to need another conversion here. They've already converted 1 4th down on this drive. Murphy will throw for it. He will complete it. And Musketeers with a fresh set of downs at the 30-yard line. Barfield on the receiving end. So life springs eternal for the Musketeers. Still not out of this thing. And the Musketeer T-Mobile student section still celebrating.
Yeah, Nathan's saying they got to get a little
pep in their step here.
Giddy up in their the clock's running, and they got to score 3 times.
1st and 10 from the 30. Murphy wants it all. He's got it. Touchdown, Maurice Freeman.
Finally, Freeman.
30 yards.
We were saying he needed to have a big game, and he finally makes the big play. Is it too late, though?
Well, that was a beautifully thrown ball by Jack Murphy. So Harlem, at the very least, will not get the shutout.
2 things that didn't need to happen at the end of that play, though. Freeman, whose team is down 23-6, jawing at the defender, and then the defender pointing at the scoreboard. None of that has to happen.
Great
Just
point.
play. You got beat. The defender got beat on the play. Take it. You scored on the play, but you're still down. Take it.
And you saw Lyle Burns there, and I would imagine when they watch the replay on Sunday, that might be something that is pointed out on Monday. So the Musketeers made a 2-point conversion, and it's just all kinds of disaster. And Murphy almost makes something out of nothing, but that was disastrous from the start.
The problem is now it's still a 3-possession game.
Yeah, that would have made it a 15-point game. Instead, you got a 17-point game. So you're going to have to get the ball back. You start going onside yet? 7:31 left.
You almost, yeah, because you need 3 scores now.
Yeah.
Still, I think you do.
Well, fans, don't forget, coming up at 11:35 over on WJBF News Channel 6, Football Friday Night, the only 30-minute show in the area dedicated solely to high school football. Brandon Robertson, Colin Cody are back at Television Park as we speak, putting the show together. A lot of great matchups tonight. And AB and I will recap this one. Get you set for next week. Don't forget the encore presentation of Game Night Live each and every Sunday at high noon over on WJBF News Channel 6. Get your NFL Sunday viewing started with Game Night Live. And I have a feeling if it stays the way it is, a lot of folks from Harlem are going to be tuning in on Sunday.
Well,
or DVRing after church, as they do sort of go onside and Harlem ready for it.
Yeah, Sterner there.
Yep.
What I love about FFN is it's
Brendan and Colin.
The perfect timing. I do love those guys. But it allows me to drive home, fix me a snack I have no business eating that late, get situated perfectly. I've almost timed it to a T, and right when I hit the TV on, it's time to watch all the highlights.
Well, that's if we're in Richmond, Columbia, or Aiken County.
True.
So I'm going to guess the Bulldogs are just going to take their sweet time and let Williams and Boyd do their thing.
And why not? As Boyd trots off the field after a nice run.
Yeah, ripped off 6 yards on first down.
Tell you, this kid's going to be a good one. Just a 10th grader.
That's hard to believe.
Yeah. Kind of following in the Cam Garnett footsteps a little bit. Garnett, though, he had 1,000 yards as a freshman. And then his sophomore year, remember, that was the year A.J. Brown had such a big year. So they basically moved Garnett to defense. And then he comes back his final 2 years and has 1,000 yards again in each of those seasons. Over 4,000 career yards for Cam. And he is a freshman at East Tennessee State University now.
So Bulldogs operating in ARC territory and a big run. This time it's Williams.
Yeah, Williams starting to pad the stats a little bit. Boyd leading the way rushing for Harlem. He's got 80 yards.
Pickup of 22 for Williams. And another first down. So ARC desperately needed sort of in baseball you call it a shutdown inning.
Yeah.
After your team scores a couple of runs, you need to get out and get back up at the plate. And ARC needed a shutdown series from its defense, and so far, not so much.
No, Harlem, like I said, they've been one of the keys, establish the run. They've done it tonight.
Back to Boyd. Punishing run. So what's in this snack that you make to watch Football Friday night?
Well, no, I mean, it's various snacks depending on the week, but none of them are good for me.
Well, what's on the menu tonight?
You know, tonight I might have to stop. I don't know. I might have to stop on the way and grab something terrible for me.
You know what? It's not terrible for you. It's great food.
Yeah.
I guarantee you there's McDonald's on the way.
There is one right near my house.
There you go.
The McDonald's.
See, Nathan says last 2 weeks he's hit the McDonald's on the way home.
There's literally one about 4 minutes from my house.
So if you're watching at McDonald's near AB's house, go ahead and get some McNuggets.
Nope, I have a go-to, man. I've got a go-to.
You still doing the grill? What were the
Nope, not even those.
Okay.
I've got old school go-to.
Uh-oh, Williams, speaking of go-to, has been the go-to back here in another nice game.
It's a secret. I'm telling you, this is a pro order.
Okay, pro tip.
2 double cheeseburgers, no onions. They're small double cheeseburgers. They're delicious.
But I like the little lunch.
Then you get the strawberry cream pie. And I'm telling you, you hook those 2 up, you're good to go. Matt Lanehart here basically cut his mic off. I want to say something.
Hey, let's go down to Matt Lane for an Augusta Auto Auction sideline report.
Thanks, John. I think
Well, that's a terrible order. No, checking in with Robert Leslie here for Harlem High School. Everybody seems to be on the up and up. A lot of very few injuries, but a lot of cramping going on over here, but everybody seems to be in good shape. One thing Robert Leslie did say is if he has to go back out there, he thinks he might develop a cramp, and then I think they're going to try to call me in or something. I don't know, but back to you, Jen.
It's always got to be about Matt.
Oh, boy.
He had to work himself in there, didn't he?
Did he play high school football? I was unaware.
By the way, we were talking FFN earlier.
And our buddy Brendan back at Television Park is apparently watching and listening and lets us know that they will be revealing the Border Bowl rosters tonight on FFN.
Love it, love it.
So definitely want to tune in for that. And AB and I will be calling the game, and we don't know. We were in the meeting where we saw the nominations.
Offsides. On the defense.
Penalty will go
5-yard
against
penalty. We put it down.
And by the way, I just got a note. I mentioned that Landon Beal has played a really good game defensively tonight for Harlem, and apparently he had a concussion that kept him out of last week's game against Lincoln County.
Well, that's a big piece of your defense to be missing.
Yeah.
Second and about 3. Ball just outside the 10-yard line. Bulldogs in the Augusta disposal and recycling red zone, but
well, you know that
Boyder wants to call a timeout and talk about this one.
He does, but you know he would just assume that clock run. Get this thing over with, not get anybody hurt.
And at the end of this game, we will be naming our McDonald's. Speaking of McDonald's, offensive and defensive players of the game. There are some, assuming this stays in Harlem's favor, there are a couple of guys on each side that are worthy of the hardware tonight.
Yeah, I mentioned Landon Beal. He's played great on defense. Vandre Thomas has played great. Of course, you had the 2 picks from Dyson Maddox. Offensively, Jacorius Boyd has been good. Jason Williams has been pretty good. Ryan Newman has played well. John Howard on both sides of the ball has played well.
Also be naming our Powerade play of the game and our East Central Health District hit of the game. All that coming your way in the post-game show. 2 minutes and 56 seconds from right now as the Bulldogs going to be a yard short. Be about 3rd and 1 here.
You know, Harlem, when Greenbrier was built, Harlem lost a ton of athletes to Greenbrier, the way it was zoned. And Greenbrier needs a defense and an offensive line. Could you imagine if you put some of these athletes together in that area? That would be a really good club. You got the running backs for Harlem with Pangle and Newman can throw it too, and then the receivers, John Howard, Malik Leverett.
3rd and short as the Bulldogs try to put the exclamation point on this one. And it's Boyd. And it's 6.
His second TD of the night.
Big night for Jacorius Boyd. He had 3 touchdowns on the season coming in, so he's got 5 total now. He averages 5 yards a carry. He is a load.
Yeah, he's going to have to wait a little bit on the Border Bowl, though.
Just a sophomore. We'll see him in a couple of years. He's just shy of 100 yards now on the night. 94 yards, 2 touchdowns. Some frustration on the Richmond Academy sideline. Coach Burns will give him
talk him up
a little bit. Yep.
But that you feel for a guy too, like Ellis. Tears his knee up, out for the year. He's a guy that would have been a shoe-in for the Border Bowl. Again, those rosters are going to be released tonight by Brendan and company on FFN, and you feel for him. And you put him with this Harlem club. Nathan was just asking me that I think Harlem could compete with Thompson and Burke County. That's a tough tall order. But you throw Ellis in there.
Then you really,
three-headed monster. I mean, wow. Yeah. With Newman throwing the ball, and that's.
Well, and we mentioned both of these backs averaging over 100 yards a game. Boyd's at 94 right now. Williams at 90.
Ellis had over 200 yards rushing in our first broadcast of Game Night Live last year against Aquinas. Had over 1,000 yards. He's you put him with Howard, with Williams, with Boyd, and Newman throwing it. I mean, but unfortunately that injury knocked him out. But that's what's so crazy. They lose Cam Garnett, maybe one of the best players in Harlem history, and they lose Ellis before the year, and they're still about to go 1-0 in the region and 3-2 against a pretty good schedule.
Sterner with another point after. Talk about trying to consolidate the Columbia County talent, and if they could, how competitive they would be.
Yeah.
I'd say the same thing for Richmond Academy.
Could.
You go back to those teams in the 40s and 50s and 60s
Man.
when they were the only school in Richmond County.
If you combine, again, in 95, if you put Josie, Richmond, and Laney together. Laney had Kentrell Bell.
That's true.
LeVar Rainey. You put those three teams together, it might have been the best team in the history of Georgia.
Fair assessment.
Josie was 15-0 without him.
Wow.
Kentrell Bell, when Laney lost to Josie, had 21 tackles that game. Unbelievable. I had the good fortune. I did 7 of the games on the radio for Josie out of their 15. And then, like I said, Richmond only lost 13-10. Frank Caputo was coaching then at Richmond, and LeVar Rainey. Gosh, there was some great talent in the area back then. And, that was the year Thompson, a few years later, had all sophomores playing against Josie and Marvin Stone and company. And I remember saying, man, that team's going to be unbelievable in 2 years. And sure enough, they go 15-0 2 years later. That was Deion Palmer and, the Brinkley brothers. And
boy, those were some teams.
Danny Verdun Wheeler and DeMarco McNair.
Well, speaking of Thompson, this Richmond Academy team, they will not have long to lick their wounds tonight, because next week they're headed to the Brickyard, and you don't think there's going to be some eyes on that game next week?
Man, yeah.
Not only the rivalry, not only the fact that Richmond Academy beat Thompson last year, but also, of course, the Jontavius Curry transfer.
Yep.
A lot of outside interest in that game next week. Now, Harlem, on the other hand, you're 1-0 in the region. You're sitting tied atop the Region 3 or 4 AAA, and you're home with Cross Creek, a team that has struggled this season, coming into Harlem next week.
Yeah, Cross Creek coming off a brutal year last year, and this year they're a little bit better than they were, but still it's a struggle for them.
And we will be in Evans 1 week from tonight. Talk about this being the region opener for these two teams. It'll be the region opener for the Knights and Grovetown 1 week from tonight.
Yeah,
on Game Night Live.
Talk about running backs, 2 of the best in the area. Joe Hampton for Evans, already got a bunch of scholarship offers. And then Grovetown's junior Joseph Jean, who is spectacular. He has more yards rushing coming into tonight than anybody in the area. 589 yards rushing on the season for Jean coming into tonight. And,
Nathan points out it's also homecoming.
Yep.
Next week at Evans, so it'll be a festive night. Always have a great T-Mobile student section there at Blanchard Stadium.
That's going to be a good game. Grovetown is really, with Hood at quarterback running the ball and handing it to Jean, they've improved. And, and Evans, of course, has got a good ball club too. They're 4-1 coming into tonight. They're only lost to Washington County on the road.
Our director tonight, Kyle Thomas, Mike Ludwikowski running our replays for us, Josh Recor on graphics, Jeff Singleton running our audio. On the cameras tonight, Z. Riley, Darius Davis, Brayshawn Glover, Gary Nipple, Antonio McFarland, and Zach King. Field grip has been Benjamin Mays. On the field, Mike Hannah DiArco. Helping us on the sidelines tonight, Helen Johnson. The red cap has been Adam Karstens, and keeping us on the air back at Television Park, the man, the myth, the legend, Levi Crawford. Great job by our crew once again tonight. They begin their day setting up at noon, sometimes earlier, and they're here late into the night breaking down just so we can show up and talk. And we'd be remiss if we didn't mention it. Josh Recor, who does our audio, also semi-engineer who fixed your headset before the game.
I was just going to apologize for making him work extra.
As Murphy goes for a long run and comes up empty, another flag down back in the backfield, so we'll see what that is. But it's also Josh Recor's birthday today. So a happy birthday to the pride of Barnwell.
And good news to report for him. Barnwell was on the verge of being upset, but looks like they've rallied and taken the lead against Middle Valley.
So there you go. As we wait for the final 93 seconds to tick off here on ARC Stadium.
And I got a correction. I was thinking somebody watching the game was updating me on Landon Beal. I thought they were saying that's why we didn't hear him last week. That's why he came out of the game tonight.
Okay.
It looks like he's got a concussion tonight. And he's played great. had a big game tonight. Was a big factor in what Harlem did defensively.
Hey, Coach Simmons.
They said it's just a minor one. That's good news. Bill's another one of those kids. It's that group of kids. It's kind of my son's age that I've coached or coached against and rec ball, and it's so fun watching those guys on the high school level now.
The personal foul went against Richmond Academy. Things come a little bit unraveled here, and it's got to be, we can't say it enough, frustrating. Richmond Academy had so much success last year and sort of experiencing the other end of the spectrum, and it just hasn't been their night here tonight.
Yeah, 12 penalties for 106 yards. And
nice throw on the run by Murphy, but incomplete.
A little zip on that sidearm. Well, and a lot of it has to do with changing personnel. And, they've got a lot of personnel they've had to change over, and, that's that continuity you're missing.
But this is going to be a happy ride back down I-20 for the Harlem Bulldogs. I suppose they could go Gordon Highway or Wrightsboro Road, but I'd probably go I-20.
Well,
wherever they go,
they're going to do it with a smile on their face. I know that.
Oh.
Because they've come in here tonight. They took advantage, of the mistakes by Richmond Academy. It was no offensive onslaught or nothing fancy, but they took advantage of mistakes and made them count.
Another high snap. Murphy's in trouble. Directing traffic. Throws back against his body, looking for McDuffie, but that'll fall incomplete. And last chance now. Last call for ARC.
Give Harlem credit. They came in here tonight, like I said, took advantage, go to 1-0 in the region. And it was a group effort, and Ryan Newman was efficient tonight. Jacorius Boyd and Jason Williams both ran the ball well. John Howard did a good job on offense and defense. And we mentioned the Harlem defense bent a little bit tonight but didn't break. And they were able to pick up some turnovers.
So ARC sending everybody out deep. This is the old go long play. And hits the defender in the back. Richmond Academy fans want a flag. None is forthcoming, and Harlem's going to be able to go into victory formation here with 57 seconds left. We'll see a couple of new coaches next week when we go to Evans. Corey Evans is the coach at Grovetown. Boy, it'd be perfect to be his coach at Evans. It's great. Miss a marketing opportunity there.
Yeah.
But
and Barrett Davis
at Evans, and they're both off tonight. So if they're not here, I hope they're watching wherever they are.
One thing I like about Barrett Davis is he's got a little Jarrett Troxler in him.
Yeah,
he's that young, energetic guy that is out promoting his team and promoting his players. And you have to do that these days on social media. You have to, and it helps with the recruiting. It helps with the kids and their excitement about playing for the team. And he's brought that. He's brought that in for sure from Southeast Bullock. He's got ties to the area, ties to Harlem. He was at Lakeside for a while. Did a good job at Southeast Bullock as the head coach the last couple of years, and he's done a good job so far at Evans.
Well, one more snap ought to do it. As the teams line up to shake hands.
And this team right here, John, is a couple of plays away from being 5-0. They could have easily beaten Evans. They could have easily beaten Lincoln County.
With Dogs on top, Harlem not only comes into ARC Stadium and beats the Musketeers 30-6, but will go to 1-0 in Region 4 AAA and be tied for first place. An impressive performance and a great bounce-back win for Harlem. As you said, AB, heartbreak last week.
Yeah.
A couple of heartbreaks already this season, moving to 3-2 and 1-0 in the region. And with that, let's take it back down to Matt Lane for another Augusta Auto Auction Sideline Report with the victorious head coach of the Harlem Bulldogs, Mark Boyder.
Coach, kind of steady as she goes, it seemed like, during the first half of the game, really running the ball, throwing it some. How'd y'all turn it on in the second half?
Well, I think the thing was, last week against Lincoln County, our game plan was to throw the ball a lot more and try not to be one-dimensional on offense. We wanted to be committed to the run tonight. We felt like after the work this week, our defense was going to play a lot better than they did last week, and they absolutely did. So we knew we were going to get some stops. We felt like we could run the football. We just wanted to manage things in the first half, make some adjustments at halftime, and then try to hit them a little more tempo and take a few more shots in the second half.
And y'all got a couple of turnovers. Did that also help you want to run the ball even more because you were kind of getting those free possessions a little bit, especially with your tandem running back?
Oh, absolutely. Neither one of our running backs played on defense tonight, and they normally do. That kept them fresh all night to alternate them. I think they both got over 100 yards. Let me finish. I was glad they both got over 100 yards. I'll try to move out of the way as quick as I can before they get me, but I think the biggest thing was
I might as well go ahead and do it. Yeah. All right, cool. You in 15. We'll go give you out some hardware here. And if y'all want to stay, I can have McDonald's set up.
A very dry Matt Lane and a very wet Coach Mark Boyd, who I don't think will mind at all.
The disappointment of the night.
Matt Lane getting out of the way. Our congrats to Coach Boyer. We have some more hardware to hand out. The McDonald's offensive and defensive players of the game. That's next when the post-game show continues on this winning night for Harlem here on ARC Stadium.
And welcome back on the field for our McDonald's offensive and defensive players of the game. Got a couple of good ones here. Want to start off on the defensive side of the ball. Number 15, Dyson Maddox, 2 interceptions. What kind of led to that? I mean, 2 of them, getting 1 in a game is great, but getting 2 of them, especially the way that they were, ARC was throwing the ball in the first half, they were pretty good at times.
We've been working on it, breaking on the ball all week in practice, and all glory to God.
Excellent performance there from Dyson Maddox, 2 interceptions. And then on offense, number 32, the sophomore, Jacorius Boyd. Kind of a tandem running back situation. You guys really ran the ball effectively tonight. Last time we saw you, you guys were kind of throwing it a little bit. Were you excited when you got the news that y'all were going to run it some more this week?
Yes, sir. We just been working on holding the ball, keeping everybody in line, just working together as a team, playing together, just being a great football team.
And doing a great job of running the football. Harlem Bulldogs, they did that tonight. Again, our McDonald's offensive player of the game, Jacorius Boyd, running back, sophomore, and also number 15, Dyson Maddox, with 2 interceptions, your McDonald's defensive player of the game. Back to you, John.
Matt, thanks. Congratulations to Jacorius and Dyson, and congratulations to these Harlem Bulldogs. We're not done handing out the accolades just yet. You had some, maybe you want to add something.
Both sophomores, by the way. Maddox is sophomore as well.
Yeah, both sophomores. Unbelievable.
Pretty good.
So the future also very bright here at Harlem. First, let's get the QBs by the quarter brought to you by Culpeper Ace Hardware for the 4th quarter.
Yeah, Jack Murphy had to throw it a lot. He was running for his life a lot back there, too. 13 of 32, 108, 1 touchdown, but the 2 interceptions. He's not going to be happy with this one, and 6 carries for 17 yards. And for Harlem, again, they didn't ask him to do as much tonight, but Ryan Newman was pretty solid, 6 of 10 passing for 107 yards.
And a big win for the Bulldogs, and we have 2 more awards to hand out. We will start with our Powerade play of the game.
I don't think this is going to be a surprise. It's going to be the run that got it started. Watch again. I love the push at the end from his lineman. Right there. Go. Boyd, 39 yards for the score, and that was almost all Harlem needed. That 6 right there.
First of 2 for him tonight, and the offensive player of the game. And now, of course, we have the East Central Health District hit of the game. And I don't think this one's any mystery as well. You pointed it out when it happened.
Yeah, exactly. And Holden Rippey coming up right there on McDuffie. Big hit.
And that prevented what would have been at the time a pretty big ARC first down. So Holden Rippey with the hit of the game. And a beautiful moon over ARC Stadium as we put a bow on this one. AB, your final thoughts?
Well, Harlem, a few bounces their way, and they're 5-0. They should be pretty proud of themselves right now. And they're 1-0 in region play. Sure, it's a tough region, Burke County and Thompson, but they put themselves in the position you want to be in, battling for one of those playoff spots. And for Richmond, it's been a rough year so far. You've got to dig deep and find something, get some players out there that, tonight it just seemed flat. And I think that Lyle Burns, that's not him.
Mm-hmm.
That is not him at all. And I think something's going to change in practice this week. I'd be shocked if it doesn't.
So once again, Harlem over ARC. The Bulldogs tied for first place in the region. Don't forget, coming up at 11:35 over on WJBF News Channel 6, football Friday night, 30 minutes of high school football highlights.
Huge night tonight.
We have a lot of big matchups tonight, but perhaps for our perspective, as we call the game, the Border Bowl game in January, they will be revealing the Border Bowl rosters tonight on football Friday night, so you do not want to miss that. Brendan Robertson, Colin Cody at 11:35. 1 week from tonight, we will be in Evans for the region opener for the Grovetown Warriors and the Evans Knights. That'll be a lot of fun. And you Harlem folks, if you're on your way home or just getting home or listening to us online, don't forget the encore presentation of Game Night Live coming up Sunday, high noon, WJBF News Channel 6. You can rewatch and relive this huge win tonight over ARC. And also, don't forget, follow us on all of our social media channels at WJBF Sports on Twitter and WJBF News Channel 6 Sports on Facebook. You can also follow AB and I on our social media channels at John Hart WJBF, at AB Sportsline. And another look at all of our wonderful sponsors and partners that make Game Night Live happen. Until next week, for our statistician Nathan Edwards, Matt Lane down on the field. AB, enjoy your 2 cheeseburgers and your strawberry pie.
There you go.
Your final score once again, Harlem 30, ARC 6. We'll see you 1 week from tonight from Evans.